Now, the Three Martini Lunch with Greg Corombos and Jim Garrity.
And I am Rich McFadden in for Greg Corombos today on this Three Martini Lunch, along with Jim Garrity from National Review. Checking out your three martinis for your Monday. As usual, we do the good, the bad, and then the absolute crazy martini. And today we started off with today's good martini. And Hillary's not coming in too good today on the Three Martini Lunch, is she, Jim?
No, she isn't. It started out with, obviously, we began looking at Meet the Press yesterday, where Chuck Todd did not hesitate to talk about both the potential criminal investigation of her use of her private email system. The Inspector General of the State Department said that, yes, classified information was transmitted through her emails on at least 4 times. And this comes after the Inspector General looked at an entire 40 emails. So it seems...
Out of how many? 30,000?
Yeah, so conceivably about 10% if we extrapolate out from this very small sample. They also point out 2 NBC Marist polls conducted in Iowa and New Hampshire. What's kind of amazing, in Iowa, 23% of more people saw Clinton in an unfavorable light than a favorable one. In New Hampshire, she's better. The gap is only 20 points there. 2 national polls looking bad over the weekend. In Gallup, her unfavorable rating is 46%. Her favorable is at 43%. This is after a long stretch of having nice, big, happy numbers when she was Secretary of State. CNN's polling shows pretty much the exact same thing. And, you know, you add it all together.
And she's just not likable.
President Obama said, "You're likable enough, Hillary." And maybe he just was wrong on that one, too. Back when he said that back in 2008. Yeah. This is a very flawed candidate, and that for as much as we on the right complain about a biased media, often with great mountains of evidence, in this case, the media is not giving Hillary Clinton the tongue bath that they gave Barack Obama in 2008, and that they're kind of coming around to the fact that this is somebody who is, the reason people think she's not honest is because she keeps lying.
Well, you can see it in that she gets annoyed when they ask her the same questions over again, and she keeps coming back with this, I did what I was asked to do, I did what I'm supposed to do. She keeps avoiding the questions, and it annoys her to no end when they keep asking them.
There's nothing more reassuring than the potential commander-in-chief saying, look, I was just following orders. I know nothing, I can't operate a fax machine, I just do what my staff tells me. Make me president. Yeah, right. Somehow that's not really a reassuring rallying cry there. So some tough coverage for her over the weekend, kind of a mounting atmosphere. And look, when those unfavorable numbers get higher, there were some polls that had her losing head-to-head in 3 swing states late last week. Look, the whole notion of Hillary as this inevitable juggernaut, which was all the talk of about a year ago or 2 years ago, looks pretty silly right now, and, with good reason.
How perturbed do you think she has to be at the fact that Donald Trump is climbing up her poll numbers right now, just on her tail? That has to bother her to no end.
It does, although, let's face it, if he decides to go independent, he becomes the nice, convenient Perot factor. So, kind of continuing a Clinton family tradition.
Absolutely. All right, on to the bad martini for today. Looks like Huckabee was out stirring it up a little bit this weekend.
Yeah, and I'm just about to put together a corner post on this. You can agree or disagree with Mike Huckabee's statement that Barack Obama is marching Israelis to, quote, the door of the oven by agreeing to the Iranian nuclear deal. Obviously, this is a very obvious comparison to the Holocaust. No doubt, this is a pretty incendiary language. People pointing out that not even Netanyahu is making that comparison.
Right.
On the other hand, to me, this illuminates a certain pattern, and you can put some blame of this on Huckabee's slate, but I think a lot of this goes on the media. That now the media's discussion is, did Huckabee go too far? Was Huckabee insensitive to Jews? Did Huckabee, it's all about what Huckabee did as opposed to the Iran deal. And if this phenomenon feels familiar, well, we really just went through it a couple of weeks ago with Donald Trump and illegal immigration in sanctuary cities, right? I mean, we have a really, legitimate beef here. We have a very, serious concern about, wait a minute, these cities announced that they're not going to enforce immigration law. And so, surprise, surprise, violent criminals who are in the country illegally are flocking to the cities. This is a bad policy. We want to stop this policy. And instead, the discussion is, what do you think of Donald Trump, and was he xenophobic and racist in his comments? Instead of talking about the issue, we talk about what Republicans said about the issue. To me, this is a discussion by distraction. This is an effort to make sure people aren't talking about what are the real issues, because those might reflect badly on the Democrats, on the Obama administration, and Hillary's prospects, and instead designed to make Republicans seem like a bunch of crazy nut jobs who keep spouting, shooting off their mouths.
Well, in some circumstances, they're right. But
True. Not
they're
the
just
most unfair criticism here.
yes,
But yes,
yeah, no, that's definitely. All right, and last but not least, our crazy Martini of the day, and we go back to Hillary.
Nothing screams, hip, with it, happening, and young like Hillary Clinton. But apparently, there's a Young Americans for Hillary party. They're gonna have young people, Hillary swag, pizza, political discussion, and a good time. And it's been by Kevin Grow over at kgrow@hillaryclinton.com. Going on. It was supposed to happen on Sunday in Hanover Street up in New Hampshire. And there's over at theamericanmirror.com. They're enjoying the picture. This is in Manchester. No, not only is like the posters just sitting there, no one has taken any of the flyers at the end. Those little
the little tear-off things. Yeah. Right.
No one, 2 days, no one tagged anything.
I'm scared to even ask what's in a Hillary swag bag.
Oh, I'm sure, Okay. It has a really, here's the thing. It almost looks like a parody because it has a picture of Hillary in her college years, the big, thick glasses, the very 60s, 70s striped pants.
Yeah.
I assume they're trying to be it's almost like making fun of how old she is and how dated it is to take a picture of her when she was young.
When you get to the point where you have to put a picture of yourself up from 40 years ago, as opposed to a current picture to try and seem hip to the young kids, you've got problems.
Hello, fellow young people. When I saw this, the part was like, okay, maybe it was a small turnout for the college Democrats or something. But it's not Democrats. It's not college. It's Young Americans for Hillary Party, suggesting that there are no young Americans in New Hampshire who are interested in attending a Young Americans for Hillary party.
Yeah, but just 4 and 8 years ago, these people were all giddy over Obama and happy to vote for him. What happened in the last 4 years? It's just Hillary, right?
Yeah, you're looking at this. I mean, again, are Democrats going to have an advantage with the youth vote heading into 2016? Yeah, sure, probably. But this is not the ideal candidate for that. And it just seems like a good, cute little example of how this is, for obvious reasons, this is a candidate who is just not setting young hearts afire with excitement at the prospects of 4 to 8 years of her in the Oval Office.
So at what point does Hillary hit the panic button? I mean, when she's 2 out of our 3 stories today, 2 out of our 3 martinis, at what point does she hit the panic button going, something's wrong here, and some other Bernie Sanders comes up and says, hello, look at me?
Well, I was going to say, aren't we kind of due for another campaign launch? She's only had 2 so far, right?
Right. Yeah.
So when it goes back, she'll hit the reset button. Say, no, this is the official launch of the campaign, and she'll do it at a music festival, and there'll be a lot of young people around, and all that kind of stuff. No,
wow.
You raise a good question there. My guess is, if she's still trailing in the head-to-heads as we head into the fall, then it'll be time to be panicked, because I think what she's counting on is the concept of a Republican freak show, the Republican debates that start early next month, making them look crazy and unelectable so that she looks like the sane grown-up by comparison, and then all of a sudden her age will work for her. She won't have to pretend to be a young person. We'll
have to watch and see how that works out for her. I'm thinking not good.
No, I'm guessing not as well. It'll go about as well as that young people's party.
Yeah, exactly. All right, well, there's your 3 martinis for the day. Check in tomorrow when Greg Columbus will be back for your 3 martini lunch, along with Jim Garrity of National Review. I'm Rich McFadden. Thank you for listening to today's 3 martini lunch.